Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. In today's video, I want to take a look at the Affliction Warlock nerfs that Warlocks are receiving, which have been probably the best DPS for the current raid tier in PvE. Like, actually, the best DPS in overall performance. They are receiving finally some nerfs, but maybe not as big of nerfs as we were talking about, and a few other classes got buffed. But before we talk about that, I do always want to help you out as best as I can. I've been hearing a lot of you either trying to grind the rep or trying to get your allied races together or trying to finish up the story stuff. The rep part is something that a lot of people are concerned about, and there's no real ways of, I guess, farming the rep. Unless you're going to be doing it over multiple tunes and you're getting your tunes to do order haul requests so you can get the tokens that are all account bound, send it to one character. He gets the rep grinds done on that one character. Unless you're somebody who has some crazy plan going on, this week is probably the best week to help you guys farming allied races. And as far as I understand, by the time BFA comes out, those restrictions for the allied races, whether it comes to rep grind and story quest, should be lifted once BFA comes out, maybe even in pre-patch. No, not a guarantee, but this is what everybody's talking about, as it would be a little bit restrictive for somebody just getting into BFA on the day of the release to just have to go and do the old school content in Legion. So let's first talk about that, then talk about buffs and nerfs. If you're somebody who's grinding out for allied races and the rep, don't worry, this week is the best time to do it, so get some time to do some of these rep grinds. First of all, we have an event where our daily quests, all the world quests, give us more reputation, so use that to do world quests in the areas to grind out the rep for the allied races. On top of that, this combos well together with the Darkman Fair, where if you take a ride on a carousel or buy the Darkman hat, you get experience and reputation increase by 10%. So if you're grinding out the allied races, go ahead and do these things right now this week in order to get your allied races right now. Now on to the buffs and the nerfs. Now the first change is to Beastmaster Hunters, and what they've done is increase their damage by 2.5%. and buffed your 4-piece, where your kill command would, instead of reducing the cooldown of your main ability by 2.5 seconds, now it's flat 3 seconds. I'm not a Beastmaster main, so I'm not going to pretend like I know that this is going to be good or not, but it doesn't seem like your gameplay has changed. I think what they're simply trying to do is reduce the downtime when you don't have all your cooldowns and all your bursts as a Beastmastery hunter, by increasing the rate at which you regenerate your aspect of the wild faster and overall buffing your damage. Which is nice for Beastmaster Hunters, especially those guys doing mythics, because they are literally at the bottom of the charts when it comes to mythic rating. You know who else is at the bottom of the charts? Number 2 DPS in mythic rating, Fire Mage. Fire Mage is seeking a 3% damage increase, flat damage increase for themselves, which seems nice. It doesn't seem again to be too many class changes, but literally the bottom of the charts, which I actually am fine with this kind of change and buff in Fire Mages, because they've been a staple of just about every single raid in Legion so far, and to see them performing at their lowest in Antaurus, at least in Mythic, is really weird. So it's kind of nice for those players that are Fire Mage mains to see a little bit of a buff for their specialization, a buff that I feel like is very much necessary. Finally, we have the king of DPS charts, Affliction Warlock, which is getting nerfed, but not by much. We have a Corruption and Agony damage reduction by flat 6%, and you also get a survivability nerf. Long Dark Night of the Soul, which is a trait from your artifact weapon, which would increase your drained soul heal by 10% per rank, is now 3% per rank, which definitely curbs your healing to a fairly low number. But I guess this is to offset the fact that Affliction can have so much mobility with so many insta-casts compared to the other specializations of Warlock, where it can benefit from movement fights without losing too much DPS and be fairly tanky in a lot of encounters. For example, I even heard that there's a Mythic Plus group that's 1 Blood Death Knight and 4 Affliction Warlocks, and because Affliction Warlocks are just so tanky and livable, they can survive a lot of the mechanics and basically provide self-healing. So that's probably to offset that kind of a weird combination. If you are somebody who PvPs as any of these classes, you'll be either mildly disappointed, like me, or mildly happy, because none of these changes are going to hit PvP. There's a note at the bottom that says that these changes are offset in PvP situations, which tells me that these changes simply are not implemented in PvP. As far as I am to understand, I've been wrong before when reading this blue post, and where I thought I interpreted in one way, it seems like it was the other thing, but here I'm pretty sure it's clear cut. I personally would love to see more PvP changes, and I hope that in future with BFA, Blizzard ends up doing a hell of a lot more tuning and changes to PvP to keep it always moving, to keep it new, keep it fresh, and always trying to change the balancing around to try to achieve this perfect balance, even though somebody forgot to add Windwalkers to the nerf list, but I digress. And of course, everybody else is still talking about leveling and if it's faster, if it's slower. And I'm gonna have a link for you guys just for the fact of reading it, because I think it'll be hilarious, because people are getting into now existential questions of whether the leveling time is faster and or slower or relatively similar or close to the same than what it was prior, before 735. And actually, someone even says, actually, the perception is more important than the reality in experiencing time. Reality is only important in measuring time. Like, people are getting really above their head, really philosophical, and it's just hilarious reading through the damn thing. I'm actually gonna have a link for that down below if you feel like it. But I guess this is a good question for the rest of you guys. I'm pretty sure as everybody has got to level a little bit by now, whether you're leveling pre-existing classes or pre-existing characters, or you're leveling brand new ones with allied races, I guess my question is, to you, does leveling actually feel slower, or does it feel more or less the same? For me, I've had actually an interesting situation where I started level 20, continuing to quest, towards level 60, it starts to really slow down. It feels like I need to do a little bit extra, a little bit more, but it feels consistent. It doesn't feel like I'm having to do like leaps every time I get, let's say, I don't know, let's say I'm leveling from 20 to 30, it's easy, but let's say leveling 50 to 60, it feels like it takes ages. With the mob scaling, mobs are getting bigger and they're really appropriate for my level. That means I'm earning enough XP. Quests, no matter which quest I do, easy quest, small quest, give me fairly similar amount of XP. I can choose which zones I want to level in, so I'm really choosing interesting zones. So it feels like time is flying by in more cases than none. And I feel like overall, up to level 60 it started getting slower, but as soon as I hit level 60, got to Wrath of the Lich King, I barely spent 30 minutes leveling and I got 2 levels and it felt like it was super easy. So it feels like maybe the experience starts to kind of speed up the higher level you get, so it really does kind of feel like you're earning. It feels like, you know, there's a pace and it definitely feels different. Some parts feel slower, some parts feel faster, but I think overall it feels more or less the same, and in a way better, especially with the fact that I don't have to one-shot a mob, because that, let's be honest, that part felt a little bit silly. And lastly, maybe by the time I'm making this video, BFA Alpha is either available and people are playing it, so better start watching Twitch streams and YouTube videos and looking up all the updates in order to keep up on it, or if not, simply I'll be making as many updates on this stuff as I can, or maybe, if it is released, I might even be playing all the content as much as I can. So be sure to look out for that in the future and or today, because today's date was rumored to be a day where Blizzard actually takes a step into a BFA alpha / beta content. No idea if it's going to be happening, but just saying in case. Anyway, let me know that in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. As always, if you guys enjoyed this kind of update, go ahead and give this video a like, maybe just for giving you guys a little bit of an idea. Hey, level your allied races, because we got a great rep grind. So that would be appreciated, because likes allow my videos to reach a wider audience and grow my channel. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the videos we put out today, want to see discussions like these, updates like these, BFA videos, and 5.5.1.1s, which you guys seem to enjoy, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below in order to be notified for every single video that comes up. And if you guys want to catch the live streams, which we do them every single day, except for Thursday, that's my one day off, my official day off, then go ahead and hit the notification bell down in the description below as well in order to follow up on the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see all of you in another video.